Hello, I'm Dohren, and today I'm going to read and review my poem, Everything Rhymes with Orange. Everything rhymes with orange. Either side of breakfast, exciting ideas formed. A decision to do something truly extraordinary next August, which would result in a best-selling book, details to be confirmed, and a plan to paint the living room walls a mishmash of vibrant primary colours. Such grand thoughts come in threes. On the way home from the café, while musing on the living room thing, the dawning of a realisation that orange was his favourite colour. An epiphany delivered with a nagging price. How much time had been wasted not knowing. Should he just paint all the living room walls orange then? And would August's great adventure have at its heart the colour orange, or God forbid, the fruit? Breakfast itself had been a failure, a café he'd not been to before, ignored by the waitress. When it finally arrived, the orange juice came without pulpy bits. It was all karma for being rude to that gypsy woman at the cathedral the day before. He should have bought the lucky heather and thanked her, instead of telling her to sod off, which hadn't been quite as exhilarating as anticipated. Karma does as karma will, and serves you right, he thought. The edge of the morning's revelations taken by guilt, and a disastrous breakfast. The two were linked, but back to August's great adventure and the best-selling book. That's what needed focus, or maybe the living room project was more urgent, not to say slightly more realistic. But it was no use. Every time he tried to think, he saw the gypsy woman's orange face. Unless he sought out the old hag and apologised, nothing would progress. Buy the dreadful heather, or whatever weed it was. Toss it straight in the bin afterwards when she wasn't looking. Karma would meet him halfway, he was sure of that. He finished his banana, put on his orange training shoes, and grabbed his jacket. How much time had been wasted not knowing. This poem was originally written during the time I spent living in the beautiful Spanish city of Granada. I loved the cafe culture over there in Spain, and I would spend some time pretty much every day in one cafe or another. Two real life events triggered the idea for the poem. The first was an encounter with a gypsy woman at the city's cathedral, which made me very angry for a very short time. And the other was a visit to a cafe I'd not been to before in the pueblo where I lived, where I got some pretty poor service. And of course I never went back. I also owned a pair of orange trainers at the time, and orange seemed to be the theme of the moment, and off I went. So this word orange, did it originally reference the fruit or the colour? Well, neither. It was actually the name of the tree that the fruit grew on, and the fruit took on the name over time. And then it was a few hundred years later we started using the word to describe the colour, which apparently we previously referred to as red, yellow, or saffron. So I think the poem is broadly autobiographical, with a lot of liberties thrown in, of course, though I have no real memory now of what this great project was I was cooking up. I do remember itching to decorate my flat, but what I ended up doing instead, rather than painting the walls, I covered the walls with my paintings. It's interesting that the city I lived in, Granada, also shares its name with a fruit. In Spanish, the word Granada translates as pomegranate. And the pomegranate is symbolized all over the city. You see stylized versions of them everywhere, on bollards, paving flags, buildings, in the city's emblem, on coats of arms. And once you've been there for a while, you see pomegranates everywhere. So again, what came first? The name of the fruit or the name of the city? Well, it's a little bit more open to question, and there are several theories about this. The city's original Arabic name was Garnata, meaning hill of strangers, and it does at least seem probable that this evolved into Granada over time. The fruit that shares its name is abundant in the area, but was introduced from the east by traders centuries earlier, so no one really knows for sure which was named first. In Spain, the city and the fruit are simply synonymous with one another. So while the great adventure in life pondered in the poem centered around the colour orange, or perhaps the fruit, I was having my life's great adventure in a pomegranate. Well, thank you if you got this far. I hope you enjoyed watching and listening to Everything Rhymes with Orange, and there is a copy of the poem in the description box below. The poem, of course, lends its title to my first collection, which was published by Black Eyes Publishing UK. That and my second collection, Wasp in My Cockpit, are available from all good booksellers. You can get copies, signed copies, at my website, the link which is also down below in the description box. So until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon.